the year, January still belong to the ox year. Okay, so this is the second last month in the solar calendar. Nothing to do with the English calendar of 1st January. So we still got another month to go, right? So don't be surprised and then see that, this is going to be end of the month. No, it's not the end of the month. This is the second last month of the year for the year of the ox, before we transit on the February 4th into Tiger. Right? So February 4th, we will basically transit over to the Tiger side of it. Right, so we are going to be looking at the Gengzi. Right, so if you pay attention, the Gengzi was last year. Last year was a Gengzi year, so it's a metal red for last year. So now it's a metal red month. So you can see that this month would be a compressed version of last year. So that gives you a bit of a tips on what to expect. So which means if last year your entire year was pleasant, right? So this month is going to be pretty pleasant, right? So if last year your entire year was a bit chaotic, then this month can be a little bit more chaotic, right? So that is what you can take a look at how the thing, right? So Ushan, there's just this energy signature. So this month is the month of Gengzi in the calendar, in the 60 pillar calendar that we are going through is the month of Gengzi. Last year was a Gengzi year. So one thing good about doing forecasting on all of this, right, is basically you can recognize signature. Right, so energy signature is the same, so you can recognize it, right? So very easy. Right, so if you have not plotted your BaZi chart yet, this is where you go to get a BaZi chart plotted, right? So joeyyap.com, BaZi chart. This is how you get your BaZi chart plotted itself. You need to register one time, okay? Right, so you get yourself registered, and you should be getting a BaZi chart that look like a big piece of information, quite a lot of information. So we are not going to look at all the information inside the BaZi chart. We're going to be focused on what we call the natal chart portion of it. And inside the natal chart, you need to recognize your day master. So the one that is circled on the yellow color box, top stamp label as day is called the day master. So for my session of forecasting, I'll be forecasting for all the 10-day master itself, instead of the normal talking about the animal sign. So I won't be talking about any animal sign at all. So we'll be talking about the day master and the interaction of the day master with the rest. So that is what we are going to be doing. Right, just hold on for a while, right? Myself might has done something that is not too correct. All right. Let's go on and take a look at it. Just need a little bit more of screen. Right, need a little bit more of screen to basically do this. All right, come. Let's take a look at it, right? So we're going to start off with the Jia wood or the Yang wood counterpart. So if your day master is Jia wood, we will take a look at that, right? So this particular month, the energy that is given to you in terms of the Gengzi is a 7 killing sitting on a resource star. Right? So 7 killing sitting on a resource star is actually practical learning. Right? So when you go and learn something in a practical way, you touch it, you touch it, you experience it, then you learn something about it, actual operating something, then you go and learn it. So you want to take a look at it in terms of a graphic representation. You know that tree on the street, the tree that usually grow on the street, from time to time they will need to be cut, or you call trim, because they are growing too big already. And especially during for us here in temperate climate, we cut the tree because raining season is coming. And so we have this what we call a raining season that has quite heavy rainfall. So if the tree are not being managed, if the tree are not being cut, it will carry too much of the weight of the water, and then it may fall down and damage property. So what they do during this particular time is that they usually would cut off a lot of the branches of the tree. So this particular month for you is basically the same for the Jia wood person, right? You need to take a look at yourself in terms of this entire year of all the things that you have done. What are the things that you're supposed to let go? Excess weight, right? Remove the excess weight. Now, so literally speaking, if you're talking about, you want to drop some weight, as in, go for exercise, this is a good month to get it started. But what we are talking about excess weight here is that anything that's holding you down, anything that is slowing you down, this is the month for you to basically do what we call, do a bit of a cleansing there to let go of all these things. Right? So you need to take stock. Right? So you need to take stock of all of the things that you have and all the things that you have done. And then, start to take a look at it and do a Marie Kondo on yourself. Let's take a look, this one, this experience, not much use to me, right? So let go of the experience. It can be letting go of experience. It can be letting go of certain relationship. It can be letting go of certain item. It can be letting go of certain memory. So there's a lot of things that you can consider letting go as in excess with. Anything that basically pull you down, slow you down, I'll go excess with. Right, so of course, during this entire process, you might feel like your ego is a bit on the pounding side of it, right? So might not feel that nice, right? So it's all right, don't worry about that. So just remember, these are 1 month. Right? So what you want to do this particular month, strengthen your knowledge base. Just like the tree, right? They're cutting off all the leaf is because they want the tree to have a stronger base. Or else if the tree is all with the leaf, and you just imagine if you're in a multiple climate country, right? So the leaf, the snow, it comes down, then it will burden the entire tree. So if the tree does not shed all their leaf during the fall and winter time, what happens? The tree becomes too heavy and it will topple. So the base become not strong. So this is what you want to do. You may want to clear up, and by clearing things up for you, you also make space for you to future learn new things. Right? So that's what you want to do, Jiawood. All right. So first big thing is that sit down and ask yourself, this particular experience that I went through, is this something that is useful? Do I want to carry this to next year? If you decided that that's not something that you want to carry, snip it. That's what your 7 killing is for, by the way. 7 killing is for you to do all these courageous cut off for yourself. And so again, don't need to feel sad about things that is happening. All right. So let's take a look at the wood counterpart, the yin wood. Right? So the yin portion of the wood. Right. So the yin portion of the wood, you can take a look at it. Imagine. By the way, the energy that is given to you is direct officer and also the indirect resource. So indirect resource, when you see, is about broaden knowledge. So it's about time to broaden things up. So I want you to imagine a sprinkler. I don't know whether you guys have seen grass sprinkler before. Amazing product. You put one in the middle of the grass and then it goes everybody gets some water around. So it's a very directed, right? So that's what DO is for. It's very systematic, directed way of doing things, right? So this one is how you direct the growth of everything else around you, right? So you want to diversify a little bit on your leadership knowledge, right? So direct officer is basically what we call the leadership staff. So which means that this year there's gonna be this month there's gonna be some expectation of you leading people. So that is the water in your sprinkler system. So where you water, where the grass grow, so very simple. So you have to lead. You got to lead where the rest of the people grow, and because it's an indirect resource, which means that you have to start learning other skill set that complement the leadership. There are probably some side skill set that you need to complement the leadership. Like for example, your ability to communicate and express yourself, aka public speaking. That may be, you say that may be something that I'm weak at. So it's time for you to increase the knowledge in terms of that area, or maybe it is a skill set in terms of scheduling. Right? So that's what you want to do. So take a look at it. What are the things that on the side that you can learn and also schedule yourself in to work on. Right? So of course, be careful of exceeding your authority limit, right? Because indirect resource tend to go all over the places. Right? Indirect resource is very scattered, right? So you tend to go all over the places. Maybe you went in and stepped on certain things that you're not supposed to step onto, which means you poke your nose into area that you are not allowed to put yourself into. Right? So that one, just be a little bit more careful in terms of having the authority. Right? So try to control your own personal growth. Right? So control your own personal growth. you control your own learning path. Right? So you choose what you want to learn. Right? So you're going to choose what you want to learn itself, so that you can be more diverse in terms of your leadership skill set for this particular month. So it's a good month. So again, sit down, take a look at the authority and power that you have, that leadership that you already have right now. Take a look at that and then ask yourself, hey, what other thing can I add on to myself? Right? Just now, Jiawood is to cut off things that is not useful. This one is to add on stuff. Right? So you can see both of them is wood, but then their energy application is different. So it's pretty unique sometimes, when you take a look at how the energy is working. Right, so let's take a look at the fire twin Ping. Then later we talk about the Ting. Right, Ping fire, the energy that is given is in direct wealth together with the direct officer. So both of them are considered a very auspicious energy, especially every time when people look at the wealth star. Right, so when they look at the wealth star, automatically the brain got this euphoric feeling of money gonna fall from the sky. Right, so what happened here is that the Ping for this one is actually like, have you ever seen a cloudy sky, then there is a streak of light, sunlight that came down, that very halo effect, halo effect. Right, so it's like the sky suddenly shine down on you, whoa, and then Mr. Bean fall down on that particular scene. You can take a look at it, right? So there is certain opportunity that you are able to see. The streak of light that coming down is actually the opportunity. So for this particular month, you will very quickly see an opportunity to acquire some authority. Right? So there is certain chance that whereby you can stand up and become a leader. Right? So pay attention to that, provided that you really want to become a leader, So you are able to consolidate authority. Right? So AKA also mean seize power. Right? So probably you'll be in a meeting, then suddenly everybody was talking, and then you suddenly, take charge of the entire meeting. Right? So those are situations. Right? So you want to pay attention to this sort of situation where things are getting chaotic, and then you know that you have the ability to stand up and take charge. Right? So you want to hit on this sort of opportunity. But of course, that is on the set that you do want to take authority. If you are the type of person who don't want to take authority, then probably it's not a month that you will enjoy too much. So you see the opportunity, you can always let go of it. Right? So don't feel like you must respond to that. Right? So don't be overshadowed by greed. Okay, right? So because you are doing this because of personal gain, you are doing this is because of your own personal agenda only, right? So don't do that, right? So you can also use the authority star to basically guide other towards success, guide other people towards their path of wealth, because you can see the opportunity, right? So when every time when the indirect wealth show itself, right, your situation is that you see things faster than other people. You'll be able to zoom in to get faster than other people. So once you zoom in to get already, there is just a few things that you can do. One is quickly go and seize the opportunity, take over. Or second thing is that, if you don't want, then you show other people, you tell people that, hey, there might be an opportunity there, so if you like, you can go and grab it. Right? So that's called guiding others towards wealth. Right? So even if you are going towards it, you can also bring a few buddy of yours together to enjoy the wealth that you're gonna get. Right. So if you're just trying to get it all on your own, this is where you are overshadowed by greed. You see, right? So you don't want to share with people. Then you just try to hog everything on your own. Usually, you get into a bit of a trouble for doing that. Cool, can do. I think that's something that you can think about. So Ping this entire year has been pretty good. Ping for this entire year has been pretty awesome year for Ping. Right, so Think Fire, right? So Think Fire, we take a look. Think Fire got direct wealth and also 7 killing. Right? So direct wealth also is pretty much a very auspicious energy. Right? By the way, direct wealth and also indirect wealth both are attacking energy. Right? So we mark the energy as wealth energy when the day master attack outward. So that is called the direct that is called the wealth energy. So this one, you imagine the process of making sword. You've seen people, what we call sword master make sword before. Then there is one process that they do is that they take the hot, fiery sword and then they dip it into water. This is basically to remove impurity from the sword and to make the metal contract so that it makes it more dense. Okay, so because when you heat up the metal actually expands. Then you shape it and then you put it in to make it contract so that it becomes stronger. Right. So this is a month whereby you have to start to make things happen. Because once you dip the sword into the what we call the water already, right? Now you cannot suddenly go and change the shape of the sword already. Take form. It's called taking form already at the sword. Before this, if you want to heat it into a different shape, it's fine, but you can't. Right, so this talk about you completing a certain task that is very difficult. So with the wealth and 7 killing both energy together, both are pretty aggressive energy. It's like one energy attack out, another energy attack in. This is an exchange of blow. Right, so it's time for you to, don't drag on. The entire idea is, do not drag on the situation. You need to quickly get the thing done. So it's like dipping the sword into the water, right? It's a one movement thingy. You cannot go there and then and that. Halfway, just put in a little bit, put in a little bit, put in, scared, don't do that. Right, so the entire thing just dip it inside and then you go, right? Then you take the sword out and then you wipe it and then wow, nice, not so easy. But that's what the movie show you, right? The last process of after making the sword, they dip it in and then take it out and then they just wipe it. And then the sword is like, you don't need to sharpen the sword, okay? That's you procrastinating. No lah. Right, so both the 7 killing and direct wealth energy are very what we call aggressive type of energy. So do monitor a little bit about your health for this particular month. Right, so the action item is actually for you to be more firm in terms of doing things and just remove all the lingering issue that's around you. Right, so with the wealth energy around, actually a lot of things you can get done already, as long as you are not what we call dragging your feet around the mud. So that's why you need to be a bit more firm. It's already end of the year. What else you're waiting for? Right? What else you're waiting for? You're still waiting for people to be happy. Right? Get the work done, roll it out, close off the entire thing, right? So and then plan for next year already. Right? So be a little bit more firm in terms of making your decisions. So close off everything that needs to be closed off. Don't let it linger anymore. Shut it. Right? Next year is a new. By the way, a lot of time when we ask people to close off, right, it's actually not asking you to abandon. Right? So you can always restart the entire project. If let's say that you feel like you still want to do this thing, you can always restart the entire project and don't worry about it. It's not saying that ask you to close out mean that forever cannot touch it. Right? So next month, next year, you can actually restart it fresh. So this time when you restart already, right, you are restarting with experience. You are not starting the entire thing without experience. You can always re-attempt the entire thing. But this thing that you already done here does require a closing. So that's why, give a closing, get it done into a closing. Next year, you can open up a new chapter. You can attempt the exact same thing, but this time you already have sufficient experience to do it. So your result, your progress will be much more better. Understand or not? Right? So don't think about, when we say that, closing down means that really closing things down. Right? Next one is the Earth twin, right? So Earth and also G Earth. Right, so the Earth, if you take a look at the energy signature that's given is eating God and also a direct wealth. So this one is also having a wealth energy, right? So together, right? So the both the what we call your fire and also your Earth, this particular month seems to be a little bit more productive, right? So eating God direct wealth is a special formation where we said that it is called eating God producing the wealth, 6 sun choi. So it's just a special formation. So it's talking about you having a lot of idea that can be monetized or can be convertible to doable item, useful, practical things. Now, a lot of time ideas is just ideas, and some of them is just outrageous, cannot be used. But with this combination of EG and wealth together, usually a lot of the idea can be converted into something that is usable. So I want you to imagine, don't know whether you guys have seen this tunnel boring machine. Tunnel boring machine. So they borrowed the idea from a ground mold. So ground mold, how do they grow? So they invented this little cylindrical machine that has a grinder in front of it, so they just release it into the tunnel. Then it will just eat up, churn out all the land, and then it will make the tunnel. So a lot of our great tunnel is built because of this machine. Or else, we won't have all those underground subway, undersea ground tunnel system. If you're still using the old method of trying to pitch yourself to the other side, that would be extremely stupid. So really, the entire idea is about discovering new way of getting the work done. And so yes, you are what we call very, very hardworking, very, very hardworking. You're persistent, you're diligent, right? But at the same time, take a look at the problem that you are trying to solve. Is there a better way of doing things? And this particular month, you will start to find like there's new way to do things. Right? So then adopt that, right? So of course, every time when you adopt a new technology, when you adopt a new way, right? So it sounds like it's threatening your old way. So that's why your foundation shift. Yeah, you will feel uncomfortable, right? So when the first time they go and do all this boring under the earth, right? So they are worried is that what if the earth on top suddenly topple down? Valid, huh? But after doing it for so many times already, right? Nothing. A lot of city actually is building downward, by the way. Nowadays, building upward is becoming too difficult. Right now, what they do is that they start building downward. A lot of city has underground connection all over the places already. Right, so your action for this particular month very easy. Find a way to speed up the work that you are doing. Right, find a way to speed up. So you've done the work for entire year already, right? So now entire year already. It's time for you to take a look at, if I were to given another year to attempt this particular work, you ask yourself, how can I make this faster? See, you're working on experience that you have. Right? So right now you have done everything, you have achieved your success already. If you're going to sit down and ask yourself again, if I were to do this again, how would I change the method that I'm doing? So this one will help you to plan for next year. Because next year you're going to start a new fantastic new journey, right? So because of you have a foresight of what you have done this particular year, and if you can think of new solution, you bring it to next year, right? So you can also right now start to think about, right? Yes, I'm going to be doing this, right? What are the options do I have? And straight away your brain work in that way already, instead of oh, I must do it this particular. This is the only way to do it, right? So you want to stop with this is the only way, and Earth does have this tendency. Earth have the tendency of trying to stay the same. They don't like to move, right? So you have to help yourself a little bit in terms of moving, okay? In terms of moving, looking for a new way of doing things. GF, right? So if you take a look at GF, the GF energy is hurting officer and indirect wealth. So hurting officer is all about attention, right? So it's all about looking for new things. So hurting officer like attention. Right, so now this one, I want you to imagine a land. So GF is a piece of land. It's a piece of farmland that has just been rained. Rain just came down, right? So this is the best timing for you to what we call flip the soil, right? So for you to churn the soil for planting purpose, right? So this is a very good time because the soil right now is soft. Instead of trying to work the soil when it is all hard and dry. Now the rain just came down, right? So the rain just came down, give you opportunity, right? So indirect wealth is opportunity, right? So then you got your hurting officer right now. So it's for your opportunity to again generate certain things. So you want to convert some of the attention into wealth. Look for that particular opportunity, right? So it's like taking a shovel quickly after the rain. Quickly take the shovel while the soil is soft and easily workable. You work the soil at that point in time. So you might discover something surprise while you are doing this. Okay, so you make your work much more easier. Progression is much more there. So now hurting officer, because very noisy, and you're working on some opportunity, and you're very noisy with it, so you'll be attracting competition to come to you. So just be careful. So just because it's that entire thing of maybe you have seen people done what we call gold prospecting before. They take the shower, and then low, and then guys, I found gold, guys. Very excited, announcing that I found gold. Now what happened? When you start screaming to people, I found gold, right? Everybody that's around there is gonna rush over to your spot and start digging. Why you think they're gonna leave you alone? Right? So that's why this particular month, what you want to do is to address the low-hanging fruit first. Right? So go and take a look at it, which are the easy thing to complete. So try to tie up loose end by completing those easy stuff first. Right? So anything that is maybe too big, too tough, require too much thing to do one, consider transferring to next year. Quietly transfer to next year. Right? So this one require a bit more time to do, right? So transfer it to next year, you don't need to advertise it. Right? So clean up all those things that can be cleaned up, easily done one, right? So relax a bit at this time. Can do, right? So I'm sure you guys are able to do so. Right? So then we go on to the Geng fella, right? So the Geng metal, the young metal guy, right? So the young metal guy, if you take a look at the energy signature for this one, is a friend star together with the hurting officer. Right? So this is loud noises gathering people. Loud noises gathering people. I don't know whether you know this thing called a Chinese gong. Right? So the thing that ticking and go gong. Or if you've seen Chinese show before, this is the thing that the guy walk around and they go dang 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 dang, trying to get everybody attention to come out on it. Right, so that is basically the things that they are trying to do, right? So it's a month whereby you can gather a lot of people together, right? So you get to command a lot of attention. So AKA people a bit noisy, right? So they are a bit noisy, so they are able to hold an audience, right? So since you are able to hold the audience, right, please don't simply give wrong information to the audience. Right, don't misguide people, right? So yeah. So again, right, a hurting officer sometimes is that it's very exciting energy. They're very excited. And also, when you're excited that time, right, most of the time you don't do any fact check. You don't do any due diligence, especially right now, in the social media world. I know this is like what we call simply sharing. Well, this one interesting. I'll click share button. Right, and then you express your view on this, and then in the end you find out that everything was actually what we call a wrong one, or it was all misguided, right? So you prepare your communication first, do your research, do your due diligence before you overly excited go out and do your announcement. Make sure that everything that you try to communicate, try to tell people is all well prepared, so that you don't end up causing what we call public hysteria. Right, so there is an opportunity for you to create public hysteria for this particular month. Right, so noisy little fella. Let's take a look at the brother, the Sin Metal brother. Right, so the Sin Metal brother has the rock wealth together with the eating god energy. Right, so this one is basically refinement by using your rival. So you take a look at your rival, you compare to yourself, and then ask yourself, how can I be better than my rival? And so what is my rival currently doing, my competitor currently doing, that I can outdo my competitor? Right, so this one, I want you to imagine the process of cutting a diamond. So how do you actually chip a diamond, cutting a diamond, form a diamond? You need to use a diamond to cut the diamond. Right, I can see you need to borrow a competitor, a diamond, to shape yourself into a better shape. Right, so a diamond is cut by using another diamond. So it's the same thing right now. You want to make yourself a better person, okay? So you use the diamond. You use your competitor as a tool to shape yourself much more better. Right, so of course, don't underestimate the other side. Do not underestimate the other side. Don't feel like I'm superior. Don't do that. So respect your rival, respect your competitor, right? So what you want to do is that try to outsmart your opponent on this particular right? So EG give you a lot of what we call option in terms of doing things. So you want to use that particular energy to the fullest to, shape yourself into a better person and give yourself a better start for next year. So of course, all of this is talking about, what's my plan for next year. So you take a look at your rival and see that, oh, the fella has been doing this for this particular entire year, right? Next year, my plan is going to be doing this, that help me go above and beyond my rival, which means that you're trying to pull up the gap, right? So the rivalry gap, you're trying to pull that particular rivalry gap with, right? Then we're going to reach the personal favorite, always personal favorite, because this is me. I'm a rainwater, right? So called yang water itself. Right, so now this one, if you take a look at it, you have the indirect resource and also the rock wealth energy together. Both of these energy are not very stable energy. So now indirect resource is basically what sometimes you call the intuition energy, or we call it the suspicious energy. It's always very sensitive, and being a water, you put some more of this indirect resource into it, the fella is really very agitated. And for rock wealth, it's also an agitating agent. So it's somebody who's trying to compete with you. So a bit short fuse. I want you to imagine this called a undersea mine. Whether you don't know, you play naval before, they deploy undersea mine. These are pressure sensitive explosive that's under the sea. So if ship pass by, kablooey. Right, so the things that you need to be careful is that, don't get reacted by people. Try not to be too reactive with the situation. Right, so of course your intuition towards change is going to be heightened up. Your eye looking at your competitor is going to be very sharp. Right, so things that is happening around, you're going to be very sensitive about it. But overreacting to the entire thing is bad. Right, so you need to know how to strategize yourself before doing anything. Right, so you need to basically learn how to calm yourself down. Don't let the environment drag you around. Take charge. Right? Take charge of it. Right. So this is like asking the undersea mine for not exploding. I know it's going to be difficult. I know, but you are not an undersea mine. There's just an analogy that I'm using to help you to what we call see what's the situation, right? So do that, right? Learn your situation. Take a look at yourself. This is also a good time for you to find out, oh, I get triggered by this sort of thing, right? So then next year, you can spend some time in asking yourself that how can I make this trigger less triggering for myself, right? So or else if you don't get hold of all these triggering mechanisms, you always get, tricked by people, right? So you don't want that to happen. So learn how to control yourself so that you can become a bigger person, right? Figuratively speaking, bigger person. Not asking you to grow big. Right, so the last one is Kui Water. So Kui Water, you got your direct resource and also a friend star together. Right, so this one, if you want to take a look at it graphically, it is a lightning arrestor. So that piece of things that attracts lightning to us. So it's a highly concentrated activity, right? So you want to channel all your experience together, right? So you got a friend star there, which means that a lot of people is coming together to share experience. So you need to be able to direct and control, conclude, collate the experience together for you. And for Kui Water, this year is actually a very experiential year for them. And so a lot of Kui Water has been through a lot of, up and down, very unstable year like this, and a lot of surprises is there for this particular year. So time for you to sit down and, take all of this experience and put it together and squeeze out the essence juice of it. Right? So be careful of information overflow. Right? So same thing, a lightning rod can actually only take a certain amount of light. Although it is called a lightning rod, okay, it does have a limit when you're talking about discharging lightning down to the ground. It does have a limit, right? So, and of course, you need to know who you are targeting, right? So, as a lightning coming down, you need to know where is the targeting point of the thing. So, which means that you need to take all this information that you have, consolidate them all together, right? So make sure that you're not overwhelmed by the information that is happening, and then you want to direct the essence that you are taking it out towards a certain target objective that you're trying to do. So you're trying to make a conclusion. Right? So what do you do with the conclusion? Bring it to next year. Right? Bring that particular lesson, the essence of the lesson that you learned, bring it to next year so that you can further improve on it. Right? Cool. I think that's something that you can do pretty easy. I always say easy. Right, so this is the end of it. Right? So we'll go into the Q&A session in a while, right? So if your friend want to watch it, or if you missed some of the point here, right? So you can go to Joey Yap TV to basically watch it. Apparently, they will be posting it today itself. Interesting. I didn't know that their what we call ability has upgraded so much. Let me go back to the big version, and then very conveniently right now they have a Q&A box. Let's take a look at some of the Q&A box. Let me see, can I broadcast? Yes, we can still broadcast, right? Rainwater, right? So rainwater for yourself, and then you have the goat inside the year, right? So goat inside the year, the goat and the rat is a harm situation, right? And horse in the month, okay, a big clash. Now, guys, don't worry about monthly clash. Don't worry about the monthly harm. No, because why? The entire 12 month is always the same animal at the same places. So these are things that happen on yearly basis. So which means that it is not actually big stuff. It's things that you have handled before. Right, so there's any clashes in the month that I should take note of less reactive. Nothing much. It's just that this particular month probably everybody is not into working. That's all. That's the clash, right? So you have got horse inside. Horse is basically your wealth star. All right. So you have a horse inside your wealth star. So you want to be hardworking. Right now December, everybody want to be not hardworking. So how? You feel a bit pissed off by them, but every year also is the same. Every year end is the Christmas, everybody want to chill, but you still want to work. That's your problem. Right, so don't worry, it's really nothing much. But with the energy signature of these things, try not to be too sensitive with the situation more. Just pipe it down. It's okay, just go and enjoy yourself. It has been a tough year, and we just came out from our 18 months of never ending MCO. It's just right now that everybody. I think right now everybody really has already adapted into the new normal. Right? So seriously, right now, whatever news come out, right, that shows you, right, you don't get surprised by it anymore. It's not like last time. It's like every time they see something, then everybody line up in the supermarket trying to buy toilet paper. You hardly can see those things already right now. So Ronnie, let's take a look at it. Ronnie, right? Day pillar is Xin Hai, month pillar is Kui Yu. Right? So it's Yu and Zi. Right? So Yu and Zi a bit friendly, nothing much happening. Right? So and year pillar is Jia Zi. I've been looking for a new job for some time. Will this month bring any luck? Direct answer is no. Right? Direct answer is no, because the Yu and also Zi also doesn't really have a lot of interaction. Right? So it doesn't really have a lot of interaction. By the way, the Yu and Zi is a destruction, right? So it usually causes alcoholism. So Ronnie, this month is not a good month to drink too much. Right? So you might get addicted to drinking. Try not to solve your problem with alcohol. Maybe milk will do a better job. Just joking, guys. Just joking, right? Come, let's take a look at Joel Tan here with the question. Right, so this question and answer page look very convenient actually. Right, so not bad. Right, so day pillar is Wu Xu. So you got a Wu Earth day pillar. So Wu Earth do have the well star here. Right, so pretty awesome. Right, so and month is Geng Wu. So it's a clash month, right? Just now I told you already it's a clash month. So your Wu Earth for yourself which is a Wu when they see fire, is a resource. Right? So this one, quick direct translation is that look like your subordinate is not supporting you. But again, I tell you, it's Christmas, it's New Year. Why are you surprised? Don't need to be too surprised. And with the well star, coming in, which means that there are work to be done. But then the people under you doesn't seem to be interested in doing it. So what does that tell you? You roll out your sleeve and go do it. That's all only ma. Right? So it's a festive season. If people want to chill, relax, and go for their festive joyous, let them go lah. Right? So it's already 2 years that we are in a state of pressure. So right now, they want to go and let go a bit. Go. It's all right. Just let them. Right? So their mental health required some. Sorry, Jacqueline, we don't do Sarawak election. Sorry, Jacqueline, don't do Sarawak election. Frankly speaking, not even interested. Silcrack, tenant moving out also, this is achievement related question, so we won't be using BaZi to fix the situation. So let's take a look at Shalice. Right, day master is 己是 with 壬子慢. Okay, so 己是 G, G. So G is some hurting officer and indirect wealth month. And 壬戌, what is the advice to take notes of career for this particular month? So this month is Grand Duke. So the energy that is being pushed up is basically the wealth energy. So nothing much, right? So we're talking about, it's just that the month there's a lot of demand for you to get things done. Right? So it's just an increase in demand only. Right? So again, year end, if everybody go on holiday, you are the poor forsaken folk that are around. And by the way, because you are G, right? So because you are G, you are ever giving, right? So other people want to go for holiday, you tell them it's okay, I will sacrifice myself. So what else? End up all the work come to you. Simple, that's all only ma. Very simple, right? So is it good or bad? Depending on how you do. Okay. Right, so James, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. Right. So Kui water month, G is with Yin. Right. So G is with Yin Earth. Been looking for new job for a few months. Anytime this month, since it's a combined month. Yin and Zi is not a combined. Yin and Zi don't have combined. The Yin basically combined with horse, dog, and also pig. Last month was a combined month. This month is not a combined month. Right? So based on this. By the way, James, year end usually also a little bit difficult to find job. So again, right, everybody is in festive mood. Who's gonna process? Who's going to process, right? So there, right? So Ocean, we are not going to do any period 9 thing, okay? We also not going to do any dragon. Let's just concentrate on this particular month itself. So we're going to plan for this month activity that has to do with this month, right? So let's take a look at Eric here. Geng fairly okay, very noisy fella. Very noisy fella, a lot of supporter this month, right? So good. Geng Wu is your year. It's not Yiwu month. Geng Chen De, or at least you're still Geng. So it's Geng Chen De and Ding Hai. I'm going to start my own drop shipping business. Ooh, starting drop shipping business on a Yu month. Right, so okay, right. So the Yu again, the Yu and Zi is a destruction situation, right? So by the end of this year or early 2022. Early 2022 and this year, comparing the energy, if you are Geng, then next year is better. Next year is your wealth year. Next year, the wood carry the wealth energy. That would be better. This year is still resource energy. So resource energy, good for you to do your preparation. Right? So good for you to basically do your preparation work. So next year, your Geng also, because you will be producing water. So next year is Ren Yi. So it's all good for your advertising and promotion. So next year would be a better better year for you to do your launch. So this year, get all the preparation done first. Listing, list, platform, all those kind of things, right? Get all of this done, right? Yin Kwan, how is your career? We need to know what you want to do first, then only we know how is your career. So you got your rabbit, rabbit and rat. Rabbit and rat is uncivilized punishment. So uncivilized punishment in work places. Now don't jump. This one just don't jump. These are just information, right? So sexual harassment, little bit. Right? So don't know. Maybe people just passing comments on you. I think it's fine. So it's pretty much quite okay. So now, so again, because you're a Jia master, sit down, think of, what are the things that you need to remove from yourself. Right? Look at stuff that you want to remove from yourself. That will be a good starting point for a lot of things that you're doing. Right. So Ushan, let's take a look, right? Hour is yin snake, month is snake. What, so many snake, one, why you? Month is dog, year, dragon. What's position for the month if I advise from? Want to reposition, why you want to reposition that hour in? Don't have your day master. Snake. Snake and rat doesn't really have a lot of interaction, right? So if your month is snake and rat don't have a lot of interaction, so which means that there is no, there's no outward interruption in terms of snake. By the way, next year snake pretty awesome. Snake is one of the pretty awesome energy for next year. So I wouldn't worry too much. Chill. Right, so really, this month is, just enjoy yourself a little bit, sit down, do a bit of a reflection, chat with your friend, catch up, with it, help out the local business. Help out local business, have a bit of a dinner meeting, right? So stuff like that, do that. Right, so day pillar is yin wood, right? So you got your yin wood as your day pillar, and then your month pillar is yang wood, right? So you need to know what is the animal of your month pillar, by the way, but okay, still can. Well, advice for me, I'm approaching an investor for raising fund for the business. Fundraising, you need your year pillar. Fundraising means that you're asking money from general public. So you will need to study a little bit on your year pillar, what is the year pillar coming in. By the way, just based on Yiwood itself, already say that, you need to show a bit of an authority. Right? So you need to show authority and you'll be able to direct information, right? So you have to have a lot of information ready, by the way, because it's indirect resource. Right? So you need to have a lot of this information like fingertips, straight away can, like you have already eaten the information for many years. Right, sin metal rooster. So again, you got okay. Now your rooster and rat together, right? When you are meeting with the prospective investor, make sure there's alcohol around. For this particular things, you make sure there's alcohol around. Right? So you might not want to drink too much, but make sure the alcohol is around. It helps with the situation. So this is also on the back of whether your culture allow alcohol or not, right? So this is what you want to take a look at. Right? But make sure information you are fingertips type, right? So or else the people who's supposed to answer the question is there. So that's what you need to make sure. Show authority. Make sure that you have all the information fingertips. Right, so Kui Day Master, cast here got Kui Day Master, Ren Zi, month is Ren Zi, female. To have a great month in business, gonna be busy at the store, right? So shall I involve myself more operation, or should I just let my staff do the job with much more? If you can get involved, of course, getting involved will be good. Because if your month is already Ren Zi and month coming in is Zi and you are Kui, right? So these are all friend stuff. Work together, right? So because all of them are friend stuff. Right, so go in there, Now go in there is basically the entire idea of, we are one happy family, sorry to borrow from Malaysia, one happy family, right? So, I know this is festive season, I know you want to go back and celebrate with people, don't worry, I'm also here together with you. We're gonna, get all this done together, that particular together, that things, lovey thing is there. Do that. right? So do that, then you would be doing pretty good. Jenny, let me take a look at Jenny, right? So Ping Wo, right? Congratulations on Ping, right? Ping this year is really awesome. Okay. Ping Wo month is Yi Wei, yeah. So you got a goat inside your month, right? So so you got your goat, and then you got the what we call your rat coming in. So rat and goat doesn't really have a lot of interaction, so pretty much it's stable. Leading a sales team can get support from subordinate. Support from subordinate, you can take a look at your hour pillar. So our pillar is Ping Zi. So your month is Yi Wood, Zi, energy coming in. Heighten up your Zi. Zi is basically your resource, then candle. Resource is subordinate. So resource with the resource energy coming in, pretty much okay. If you want to rely on your subordinate to help you a bit. So that is definitely possible. Let me take a look. Dan Wong, well, Geng Shen Day Master, so it's a metal day master, noisy fella again for this particular month. Ping Chen, dragon, right? So dragon and red is a 3 harmony combination. Had a bad year 2020, passed already lah. 2020 let go lah. Oh, kind of remind me of what happened last year, December. Triple red, okay. Yeah, any advice on career in December is basically a combined mind. Combined mind usually not really that much of a problematic. So what come in, this is a water combination. So water combination is hurting officer. Don't talk too much. I would say don't talk too much. Unless you know what you are talking about, don't talk too much. Simple. Unless you are very sure of what you're talking about. Please don't generate sound for the sake of generating sound. Right, so Kui Mao, right? Day Master Kui Mao, this Joyce, right? So Man is Ren Dragon, right? So okay, so it's Dragon Man again, so it's again it's combine, produce more water, so you get a lot of companion stuff. Changing job be a good for next year. Why you want to change job? Joyce, when we talk about changing job, right, you need to really ask yourself first, what you're looking for. Changing job doesn't solve your problem. Changing job is an activity. So why are you changing your job for? If you do not even know why you want to change job, right? So yeah. All right. So dragon and dragon and tiger. Dragon and tiger doesn't really, but next year dragon got 0 auspicious star. So Joyce, if you go out and change job, you're on your own. Okay, dragon got 0 auspicious star. If you go out there next year, you are on your own. So think about it first. If I were you, I would just hide. Which day master is awesome? Jacqueline is asking, right? Depend on your definition of awesome first. You have to know what is the definition of your awesome first, then only I can tell you what is awesome. I say awesome doesn't mean you awesome, Some people like awesome power, some people like awesome, a lot of work to do, some people like awesome love. I don't know which awesome do you want. Okay, so that question very different to answer. Regine Chow, let's take a look. Regine, right? Day master is Ji Day master. Month is Geng, and dog is another one fella that is a little bit lonely. Right? So but it's a combo next year, the dog. And I have a new job offer. Good, Regina. Your statement is like, okay, I'm the day master. I got a dog inside my mouth, and I'm getting a new job. You want people to be what we call jealous of you. What are you trying to do? Right, pretty much okay lah. No, don't worry about it lah. Okay, so the dog and also the rat doesn't really have a lot of what we call interaction. So no interaction means stable. When you have no interaction, it always means stable. Right? So let's do one more question. Let's take a look at Annette. All right, Annette here. Wu Chen Day Master. So it's a Earth Day Master. Wu Earth Day Master. Wu Yin. You got a tiger for a month. Oh, so next year is going to be a bit exciting for you. So rat doesn't do much. New in this company and leading a team of turn around for the company, have the support of the team. Okay, Annette, next year going to be very, very pressure for you. So Earth with the Jia from the tiger coming in, you are facing with a 7 killing. You're facing a 7 killing mean that every step is going to be very, very troublesome. And because of the Grand Duke situation, everything is heightened. Everyone eyes is on you. Okay, learn how to relax and breathe in deep, breathe out deep. You know, all those whatever meditative yoga thing. It's gonna and it's gonna be stressful. It's going to be stressful. Right? So you need to do some strategizing for yourself in terms of this turn around the company. There's going to be very, very high expectation of you taking action. 7 killing is for you to take action. Right? So it's going to be a lot of question of why you remove this person, remove that person, kill this person, kill that person. Right, so please do that. And right, so be more vigilant of your thing, as expectation is just very high. All right, guys, that's it for this particular month, right? So it's a good closing month, and next month we have another month to go through. So by the way, January and February is going to be a pretty special month, if you can see it, because the year and the month is going to be the same. So next month is like what we call your what we call your Sincho year, right? Next month is Sincho month. Then for the month of February is going to be your Ren Yin year. It's going to be the Ren Yin month. So it's going to be both is Fu Yin month. So Fu Yin month and year. That 2 months, everybody will need to do a lot of reflective thinking. So that's why it's good for you to do all your celebration now. I scare the next 2 months you got no mood to do celebration. Okay, guys, right? So take care and see you guys again next month for another session. Right, bye.